Hello, thank you for checking out this second video on a overview of this pedal board. My name's Kevin Koa. I'm a live looping artist. I use this all the time when I play out, solo, duo, full band. This pedal board just comes with me everywhere. So the size of it, I think, is pretty healthy, but I actually wanted to go larger, and I have plans to go with a larger board, but I actually built it the exact specs to fit inside of this case, this Pelican 1555. I had the case, I had my name on it, I love the color of it, so I just built this pedal board to fit it exactly. And it actually overhangs right here. I'm very, very stoked about this, but there's neodymium magnets that hold that thing in place, and it's pretty strong. Like it doesn't need to support any weight or anything, but I just use it to move the unit back and forth. Normally have two hands available when doing that, but it allows me to fit the unit, which needs to be a little larger than that, inside of it. Very happy about that. I'm not a professional builder. I mean, you can look at this thing and tell it's totally DIY, but I'm stoked by it. It works. I've even accidentally dropped it. I hate admitting that, but I dropped this inside the case and it's stayed together just fine. So anyway, it is 3 layers. I have a board underneath that's the exact size of the pedal board I got off Amazon. Just a pedal. I looked up like a flat pedal board. It's plywood, PVC backed plywood with a standard like flight case style border. This riser is made by the company that makes the Vertex units, the Vertex pedal boards, and it hinges. It will go back and forth, and I can utilize all that space underneath for more boards or more pedals, or just to get access to work underneath. I made these latches so it will not lift. The Vertex units come with magnets. Highly recommend just making latches so that you can pick it up by these boards. You can kind of get underneath it and it will not open up on you. So love the riser. I needed this custom size. They made it. I'll be utilizing them again for sure. I mentioned this other company, Pedalnetics. They also make really custom size buttons for foot switches for everything. Check them out. Buy their stuff. Super great. So these two companies, custom builders, I'll be using in the future. The Behringer Flow 8. Love this mixer. I live stream and record video with audio directly out of this thing. I also, if I'm playing with a band, I just run more bandmates into it. Makes it so I don't have to set up a mixer every show. I can run monitor outs here. A lot of times I'll just send one to the main PA and one to a monitor that'll be sitting right in front of me. I also have the headphone out running into this board. I'll show you how I use that. I had to build this bracket out of L brackets that I got from Home Depot. I tried super glue. That's why it looks like shit. And the super glue held for a while, but I had to ultimately fasten it actually through screws and drilled it into the chassis itself. But it keeps the power supply and the USB port safe, and that's all I really care about. So looks a little industrial, but once again, not a professional builder. That's why this looks terrible, but it works. And let me push this forward. Once again, I said there's some magnets under there. You may or may not be able to see them, but they're just holding that mixer on top. So this is, if I were watching MTV Cribs, I would say this is where the magic happens. This is, kind of the thing that a lot of sound guys, I think, would like to see. They get their own outputs for their vocals and the output for the loop. This is great for when I'm playing a larger show and somebody else is running sound. They get separate outputs, and these outputs are separate from the mixer. So I can turn up my stage volume, I can add compression and reverb and EQ on this mixer, and it will not affect these two outs. So a lot of sound guys are happy to have that that control and flexibility on their sound without me mucking about. Anyway, I've got a Apple AirTag. Really nice having that, just so I know where it is all the time. A power outlet supply I put on. I probably don't need this, but I just find it to be useful. Which it also gave me some USB ports, and I added some more USB ports because I just use USB so often. The reason I say this might not be entirely useful is because I found this IEC cable power supply from Planet Waves Diodario, and it comes with a extra power supply to it that plugs into whatever IEC cable you're using. So I didn't find out about that until after I built this, but I still use them here and there. I have this, once again, is a little larger than I need, but it's a headphone amplifier. I thought I would be using each one of these headphone amps for different band members, or if somebody wanted to hear a certain mix, I could send them one mix and I could keep another one sent to myself. Unfortunately, I've only ever used one. And so in the next build, I'll probably go either with a smaller one or just a single channel headphone amp. But for right now, it's, very useful and looks cool. So the reason I have a headphone out on this board is because I use a special cable. Previously I had to get this made from a custom maker, but Ernie Ball has seen a trend and they decided to make this long, very heavy duty 1/4 inch cable, which has a standard guitar 1/4 inch. Let's see if that wants to focus, but a standard guitar 1/4 inch and I'm gonna get it to focus. There we go. A headphone 1/4 inch. So you can take this off. It's actually a 1/8 inch connector under there too. So a headphone and a guitar cable wrapped into one. I plug the guitar into this patch bay. So my guitar is going in, and then the headphone out, I plug into here, which is running from the mixer. And that goes through the guitar cable, where I have the guitar lead that goes into the guitar. And then there is a headphone jack right there for in-ear monitors. I take my in-ear monitors and run them to this just behind my shirt, and I can get my custom in-ear mix anytime. Full band, playing solo. If it's too loud somewhere and I want to hear myself better, just use that. Like almost every gig I use that. It's really nice. So let's see here. The other patch bays, these are just to put in more instruments if I want to put a drum pad in. And then there's Midi Out. So I actually have a drum pad I've been working on, which will take the MIDI from the RC600 and it will quantize some of the loops and some of the rhythmic textures directly to the RC600's loop quantize feature. So really great to have Midi Out. Having MIDI in could also be cool if you're working with somebody else, but this is awesome, especially for synth arpeggiators too. The arpeggiator of the synth will run with the loop, so that's the MIDI going out. And man, this thing is just, it looks ugly the more I check it out, but it has worked just super well for me. All the power runs off of one IEC cable, which was right there, just a standard. And I'm willing to unplug it as well, just so I can show you. It's just a standard IEC cable, female IEC cable. I really recommend utilizing this type of input for whatever unit you have. Just convert it to this plug, this female plug, because if you lose any power supply, whether it's a pedal board or a synthesizer or a whatever it might be, even amplifier unit, those pedals are, these cables are just everywhere. You can find them everywhere. So just convert it to that cable, and I have this thing zip tied and glued in there, so it's just not going to go anywhere, and I can plug any cable into that. That is IEC, and it'll power it right up. That IEC cable splits actually a couple times, and one of them goes into the RC600. Another one goes to the COX DC7, which powers almost everything except for the RC600. I wanted to utilize its own power for that because this thing draws a good amount of power, and the USB ports and this Behringer Flow 8 also runs on its own power supply. So anyway, that is my pedal board. Now that I'm unplugged from almost everything, I can spin it around. Let's just do one more little spin around. Highly recommend with the riser too. I'm not sure if I mentioned, but get some latches for it. Don't rely on the magnets in there. But this is the pedal board I play with so often. I'll be playing with it at least for another 3 months before I am looking to do some upgrades and make it a little bit more robust and clean. But man, this thing just works. So thanks for checking out the video.